Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars, first things first, I want to send a rest in peace to Anthony Bourdain. You all remember him as the American chef who took us all over the world on his CNN show, Parts Unknown. He died last week, shortly after Kate Spade took her life. We found out that he also took his life while he was on location shooting for that show, I believe in Paris, France. Shook us all. I don't think you can find many people that didn't have respect for Anthony Bourdain. Again, one of those people, one of those names that you've heard. We've all sat and watched his show, and I've always admired the fact that he would go to whatever culture just to learn more about these people, these areas, places that we normally wouldn't go, and would bring us all together through his love for food. Such a shock that he would kill himself. I mean, you never really know what people are going through. And I think that has been the general, everybody has been saying that lately. It is so sad to see somebody who is so loved, and for whatever reason, they may not know it or may not feel it. I say that his death shook the world. I really don't use that term frivolously. I think that most of us were shocked. And real sad. They say that he was 61 years old and that he leaves behind one daughter, Ariane Bourdain. He was not married. I believe he was divorced. But again, this recent string of events where people are taking their lives, you know that mental health is important. I just would encourage everybody to be there for somebody. Hard to do when you don't even know if someone is going through something. But I think as a whole, if we could just generally be nicer to each other, support one another, maybe people wouldn't feel such devastation. They still haven't said why he may have killed himself. Someone in his family, was it his mother? I had read that they had said that he had been in a dark mood for a couple of weeks before he took his life. So I still don't really know what exactly was the reason. They haven't said why he may have taken his own life, but you don't always need to know. You just need to know that there is another out, and it certainly shouldn't, include ending your life. So prayers up for his family. The world has lost an extreme talent, someone that was incredibly human, but he will continue to live on in our hearts and on our television screens on that show, Parts Unknown. Rest in peace to Anthony Bourdain. All right, you guys, so Andrea Kelly, that's the ex-wife of Robert Kelly, R. Kelly, the artist you guys know. She was on the Sister Circle yesterday. And she finally spoke out about her relationship with R. Kelly, her marriage to R. Kelly. Remember, we didn't even know that R. Kelly was married until she showed up all of a sudden. Okay, she was on, what was the show? Hollywood Exes, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Hollywood Exes. She was on the show. And we were always just like, well, damn. Okay, and not only were they married, but they had been married for years and years and years and years. We had been hearing all of these stories about R. Kelly, just never had thought in our minds that, that he definitely was married. But yeah, he was married to Andrea Kelly. So they got their divorce, remember, when she went on that show. And although we heard that there was some, at the end of a marriage, at a divorce, you would figure that they probably wasn't getting along the best. So we had heard that, but we didn't hear any details on the relationship. Well, now that R. Kelly is going through, he's holding his sex slaves in his home, and have these women brainwashed and, holding them captive and all of that. Now that we're hearing more and more stories about his craziness, I should say, I guess she's finally come to the point where she feels like she has to speak out. She was just on the show and she was just talking about domestic abuse, the fact that she didn't detail exactly what he did to her, but she said at one point it got so bad that she was ready to kill herself. She was going to jump off of the side of a hotel, and then she was able to come outside of herself and see herself splattered on the ground, and her kids in there and them seeing, and everybody finding her on the ground. And she realized that maybe she was getting beat up. Okay, she looked it up on this domestic violence website. Out of 17 things, if her partner did 15 of them. Okay, so she definitely was a domestic abuse victim, and she said she was just tired of being a victim. Finally got the strength to get out of that marriage. But now, of course, with this stuff that's going on with R. Kelly, like I said, I think she just feels like she owes it to these girls that are being held there to speak out. She said that she loves him enough to not be his yes man. She says that's the problem. He's got all these people around him who basically let him do exactly what he wants to do, never check him, which is usually the case. When you have the money and you have access to all of this, everybody around you, of course, if they're benefiting from it, they're gonna be like, yeah, okay. But the fact of the matter is the shit is wrong. She even had some words of support for one of the girls whose parents are trying to get her out of there. She just said that she stands with them. And I mean, it was a real emotional interview that she had with, what's her name? What's her girl? I want to say Selena. Is it Selena? It's not Selena. It's child, what's her name? From R&B Divas. The one that, it all falls down. What is it? Oh, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Child, I can't remember. But anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. Which was interesting because I remember in the past that she seemed to, imply that she did not believe, what they had to say about R. Kelly, and that she had worked with him and never had any problems with him. But anyway, it was a very emotional interview. The parents and her, everybody was crying. Every time she reached over there and pat her face with the napkins, I was like, girl, just give her the napkins. Just give her the napkins. Let her do it. But really emotional interview. Not surprising to me to hear the stories about what he may have been doing to her. I mean, it's not unbelievable when you hear about all this other stuff that's going on surrounding R. Kelly. Why would it be? And the parents did confirm what I thought was the reason why they're having such a hard time bringing R. Kelly to any type of justice, is because these girls that he now holds captive, okay, they are all over 18. He at least smartened up to know that, he got to quit fucking with these 13, 14, 15, 16 years old and go on and get him somebody that's legal. Okay, but, 18 years old is still a baby. 19 years old is still a baby. That would still be my baby, and if you know that they fresh out of high school, still ain't got no damn sense, still learning about themselves and the world, and then you get somebody like an R. Kelly that kind of like takes them over and, shows them this life, and then kind of tricks them and brainwashes them into this whole other situation. It's sad. So yeah, I did watch the interview. Man, good for Andrea Kelly if she felt like she was ready to come out and speak against R. Kelly. I won't know how this is going to affect her relationship with him now. I guess you don't really have to deal with them. Their kids are grown now. I think they have one. Is there one, the young one that's transgender? Is that the one that's underage? Am I getting them mixed up? Anyway, I believe their kids, for the most part, are all grown. Okay, so she doesn't have to deal with him in that way. But yeah, just more that we hear about R. Kelly, the more I wonder when exactly is anything, if anything ever does happen, when is it going to happen to him? In the meantime, hold your head up, Andrea Kelly. Maybe that was a weight lifted off of her shoulders that she came out and spoke out. I don't know how you feel about it. Some people say it's her truth and she, deserves to be able to speak out. Other people are saying, all this time now you want to say something. They feel like it's an attention gaining effort. Whatever it is, you guys, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Alright, you guys, good news. They say that Lil Tunechi, Lil Wayne, Weezy, whatever you must call him, he won his lawsuit. Back on May 23rd of this year, they say that his lawyer submitted paperwork that said that all parties involved were ready to dismiss this case, and that Universal Music Group paid well over $10 million. I think they're reporting around $12 million, wrote a check and basically bought him away from Cash Money. So Universal Music Group settled the debt that was owed to Lil Wayne. I guess at that point he didn't care where it was coming from as long as he got his money. And all's well that ends well. We had seen that it was coming to some sort of conclusion because we started to see that Lil Wayne and Birdman were at least cordial. It even got to the point where it looked like they were friends again, and that's a family situation. People have been saying it for years. Money got involved, the shit got nasty, got dirty, but I mean, they're so heavily involved. Their families, I think Birdman is Wayne's kid's godfather and vice versa, and all of that. A lot of history there, and it was sad to see them going through it, but yeah, it's been settled. And now Universal Music Group has Lil Wayne. They're going to be releasing the Carter 5, so Lil Wayne fans can look forward to that. And even though they did give out $12 million, which you don't even really hear about those kind of payouts anymore, they figured that they would recoup their music because Drake has his album coming out later on this month, and then Nicki Minaj has her album coming out in, when is it? August, October, one of those. So they're figuring with the success of both of those albums, they'll recoup their money and, it'll be even Steven. In the meantime, good for Lil Wayne. I mean, he's been MIA. I mean, we see him. He still performs. Joe actually went to his homecoming at Southern. Lil Wayne performed with Juvenile, and Joe was like, "Mom, it was the best concert on this earth." Granted, Joe only been to that concert probably, but he was just like, it was so turned up and just so fun. He was like, you just don't even remember all the hits that Lil Wayne had. I was like, oh yeah, I remember. And I definitely remember Juvenile. Okay, that was definitely in my heyday. So, but anyway, I'm happy for Lil Wayne because it was just starting to look like this extreme talent was getting just snuffed. You hear about it happening, but when it was somebody like Lil Wayne, you would hope that he would be able to put his talent, his craft out there for people to enjoy. I mean, at one time people were saying he was the greatest rapper out at the time. Okay, so I don't think he's lost his mojo or anything, but he's a lot older now. He lost a lot of time. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, like I said, Lil Wayne fans can look forward to Carter 5 coming out. It's coming out soon, and it's going to be on Universal Music Group. Congratulations, Lil Weezy. They need to rename that damn Red Table Talk to shit you never wanted to know about Jada Pinkett-Smith. Why the fuck are we hearing all of this shit that we never wanted to know about old Jada? Now listen, you guys know that I have a love-hate relationship with Jada Pinkett-Smith. I've told you guys in the past that she is way too deep for me. Like, I can take her in small doses, but Jada Pinkett-Smith as a whole is just real extra. I forgot that when, they started this whole Red Table Talk, because I thought that the first episode was really good. Okay, just to see her sit down and talk with Will Smith's ex-wife. Like, I was like, this is a good start, a good conversation. All of that, child, it's been downhill ever since. Y'all, we done heard, about the baby cutting herself. We done heard about Jada Pinkett-Smith saying that she's even tried to attempt suicide. We done heard about her losing her hair. We done heard, now the latest is that her grandmother taught her to masturbate when she was 9 years old. Listen, I'm all for sexuality, human sexuality, women, even little girls. I mean, some of us have it in us at a younger age. Nothing wrong with masturbation. I'm just gonna need you to keep that conversation in the confines of your own home. I don't know what's more uncomfortable. The fact that she's telling us that her grandmother taught her how to masturbate at 9 years old, or the fact that she's telling us and her daughter and her mama at the fucking table about this masturbation. Now, really? You know, and the daughter's like, yes, that's your body. And I was just like, okay, I mean, I'm all for if that's how you want to live and you want to raise your children and you guys want, nothing is off the table, it's all good. It's all good. But Roxanne is going to choose to tap out right now. I was like, girl, nobody want to hear about your granny teeth. Now, baby, this is what you do, baby. You sit down and then you you put your hands right there, you part your lips right there. And then you get this hand right here, you got to leave it free, baby. Leave it free. Because when you bring it on around like this, entirely too fucking much. No. Again, children probably masturbate. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just, certain things, I'm just not need you to put it out there for the general consumption. Because people don't understand. People got their ways of thinking. You don't want to get it misconstrued and people start thinking that you and your granny has something sexual going on. It's just... Yeah, I mean, I got what she was trying to say, that it was her body, so she had control over pleasure in her own self. I got all that, y'all. You ain't got to explain it to me or nothing. But, yeah, no. No thank you, Jada Pinkett. No thank you. So from now on, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let y'all tell me about what she talking about on the show. Because, child, I can't do it no more. I cannot take it. But good luck to Jada Pinkett-Smith with her show. Alright, you guys, Eric Bishop, better known as Jamie Foxx, has found himself in a little bit of legal trouble. Okay, they say that a woman has turned in a lawsuit against him, saying that back in 2002, she was at a party at his house. He was trying to get her to give him oral sex, and when she would not do so, he whipped out his dick and slapped her in the face with it. I was like, child, I didn't know it was that long. I mean, was you down there to begin with? What exactly was going on? I'm going to need a little bit more information about this situation. She says that she was affected so much by it that she had a panic attack at home the next day, but she was able to get herself together. She went to the hospital, but she did not go to the police. But 16 years later, she's been inspired by the Me Too movement, and here she is now bringing up this lawsuit against Jamie Foxx. Of course, Jamie Foxx's lawyer has said that they emphatically and categorically deny all of the accusations that this woman has brought about. They find it interesting that she's waited all this time to say anything. The reason that she did not go to the police back then is because it did not happen, that she has made this up in her mind, that this whole Me Too movement is problematic because it has kind of turned our legal system into guilty until proven innocent. Jamie Foxx is even saying that he is going to strike back out legally and sue this woman for, I guess, defamation of character or lying on them or whatever it would be. So, yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. I've heard things about Jamie Foxx. That doesn't mean that this situation is true. Of course, what I've heard is just hearsay, but there are some whisperings about Jamie Foxx out there. Okay, so I'm not. That's all I'm saying. Jamie Foxx does keep a pretty low profile, so it is surprising for some people to hear about these things. But Hollywood is Hollywood. A lot of things happen in Hollywood, and I'm sure there are women all over the place giving them blowjobs and perfectly fine with it. So it may or may not have happened. I guess we are just going to see. There's no statute of limitations on this kind of thing. I mean, 16 years later. I mean, I guess I should say it's not, because with this whole Me Too, we are hearing people saying things that have happened years and years and years and years ago. But then not all of them have brought up a lawsuit. So I guess we're just going to see. I don't know how the girl is going to have any proof. And it's going to turn out to be her word against his. I don't know how well she will fare in that lawsuit, but we'll see. And when we find out, I'll let y'all know. It is fucking June, and I'm talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Damn! That show is year-round. We never get a break from Real Housewives of Atlanta. First things first, did Marlo get her peach? She tweeted out yesterday, finally got my peach. and then she put a little crazy face, you know, the one with the tongue sticking out like that. I honestly don't believe that Marlo got her peach, but time will tell. We will see when the show comes on. But I actually think that she was trolling. The fact that she put that little face afterwards, you know, she was just putting that out there, or meant something totally different. And she knew that everybody was going to take it and run with it. So I don't think that Marlo has gotten her peach. But if she did, then fine. Okay, I would be so shocked if they did give Marlo the peach. She seems like a fucking liability. Second is Kenya Moore pregnant. I believe that she's pregnant. I believe that she was pregnant when she said she was pregnant. I believe that the picture that she's posted in her dress where we saw her belly, I thought she was pregnant then. Then we saw her on the treadmill. She looked pregnant to me there. People still will say she's not pregnant. Do you know how hard it is to keep a lie going that you are pregnant? Bitch, at some point you had to produce a baby. Do you guys really think that she's crazy enough to keep this going, that she ain't gonna have no baby in 9 months? I mean, fuck. You guys, people just want to see that this girl is lying and will keep on saying that she didn't look pregnant. I mean, she looks pregnant to me. All right. I mean, I could be wrong, but I honestly don't think that she's lying. All right. I feel like she is pregnant and that we are going to see her have a baby. I mean, for you to be putting out, you know, heartbeats, you know, ultrasounds and letting us know about all this. Like, I mean, you would look really, really crazy if you really aren't pregnant. You know, I actually have a story about somebody who lied about a pregnancy. Oh, it's too close. It's too close. I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you guys. But now that I think about it, I mean, people do lie about these things for sure. But in this case, I don't think that she's lying. But like anything else, we will see. They're saying that she was downgraded on the show. That has not been confirmed. There's still plenty of negotiation time between now and when the show comes back on in November. You know, they could always pull her back into the fold as a full peach. I mean, to me, it seems like this would be perfect for her to be a full-blown housewife, and we can see her whole journey of her being pregnant and, you know, the things that she's going through as an older woman who's having her first child and, you know, all of that. So to me, it seems like it would be a no-brainer. This would be something good for them to have her on. But I guess if they did downgrade her, they are still pissed at her for what she did, getting married and all of that, to me, which still kind of doesn't seem fair, especially now that she said that he's willing to come on the show and everything. So I mean, it's probably a lot of other politics behind that we aren't privy to, but to me, it don't make no sense to get rid of her now that she actually bona fide is a wife and has a baby on the way at 47 years old. Third, you know, they're saying that Candy's, her show, Candy Coated Nights, you know, that was her web-based show that they had that was pretty successful. It now will have its true place on Bravo. Going to be coming on July 1st. Girl, let me tell you, that fist pump of righteousness for Candy Burris Tucker, who does the damn thing. That girl is always going to secure the bag. I don't care what you think about Candy Burris Tucker. She is going to get her money. So many streams of income. That girl is very, very smart. And now she's got her show. Remember a long time ago when I told you guys I was talking about Tammy Roman going back on Basketball Wives, but remember I was saying that Tammy said that sometimes you got to give a little to get a little? Well, I am wondering, okay, and this is just me, you know, pondering, so y'all just kind of hear me out. I'm wondering if, one, the show that Candy was going to have on WeTV, remember it was called Hot Atlanta and Marlo was supposed to be over there and it was going to be a show. All of a sudden the show was canceled, remember? I was wondering if Bravo was going to let her do something like that. You know, I'm not quite sure how that would work out, seeming like it would be going against, you know, Housewives of Atlanta and all of that. So it just seemed like it was too much of a conflict. And I was wondering if Bravo was going to put a stop to that. But I also told you guys a long time ago that Phaedra, there's all this talk about Phaedra supposedly coming back to the show. And I thought that most people would be fine with that. But I knew that Candy Burris would have a problem with it. Okay? Because Candy was pissed about what Phaedra had done. So then I started to think to myself, Roxanne, I wonder if Bravo gave her this show because that was sort of like a give for her. Like, okay, listen, we're going to have Phaedra come back, and we know you don't want that, and we don't want no lawsuits and shit like that. So how about we give you a show? And maybe that will make you feel a little bit better. Okay, your pocketbook, you finally get your vision fully realized on the television, and you know, how about that? And she might agree to it. Now, that's just kind of what I was thinking. That doesn't mean that it really happened. But the funny thing is, one of the rock stars tagged me. That was when Kandi had announced that she had the show coming. And I didn't realize that it was Kandi's post. When the girl tagged me, I just clicked on the tag, and it took me to it. And she said, look, Roxanne, she said something along the lines of what you said happened. It's the trade-off. And I responded to her, yep, I guess we can look forward to Phaedra coming back in the fall. And then I looked up and I said, oh shit, that's Kandi's page. I wouldn't have posted that on Kandi's page because I don't be doing messy shit like that. I would have done it on Shade Room or Baller Alert. But when it's actually Kandi's page, you know, bitch ain't trying to fuck around and get blocked. Okay, so when I saw that, I was like, oh shit. But I didn't, you know, and when I refreshed it, honey, they had to remove the comment. And I mean, they had done it within a minute. All right. So I didn't get blocked, but they definitely took that comment away. I don't know if it's because she just didn't want no Phaedra talk on her page, or if I might have been right about something. You guys, look at me trying to break a story. But yeah, they did get rid of that comment. So I guess we'll see if Phaedra does make it back. But I'm starting to hear more and more about Phaedra coming back. I'll be fine with Phaedra coming back. Again, there is that problem with Kandi, rightfully so, feeling a certain way about her being back on the show. But girl, fuck. Get your money, Kandi. Okay, bitch, I am not mad. Damn. That girl is doing it. Who would have ever thought when she came on the show with this short, you know, flame red, you know, whatever the fuck going on top of her head, for her to come all this way? She is fucking smart. Nothing but respect for Kandi. Nothing but respect for that girl. And then in a little bit sadder news, Nene posted that Greg, you know, we remember he had been in the hospital. He was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. We didn't even know it until she finally came out, when it was around the time that he was about to get out. But turns out that the reason why he was in there is he has cancer. Not sure what kind of cancer that he has. But just like, I was so sad for them, you guys, because first of all, cancer is a bitch. Fuck cancer. It takes a toll on everybody. The person that has cancer and the family that has to deal with it. So I felt bad for him. And, you know, I just prayers up for the Leaks family, because they are about to go through quite a bit. And it's going to be interesting how Nene deals with it being on the show, and all her focus having to deal with being an interesting character on the show, and also having to deal with Greg being sick. You know, them two, love or hate Nene, you can tell that them two really love each other and that they care about each other. And Greg has always been seemed like a good guy. I just hate to see something like this happening. So yeah, prayers up for all of them over there. But yeah, you guys, that is the latest talk on what's going on with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I said, I feel like I talk about them year round now. Damn, the show don't come back to November. Can we give it a little break until then? And then in quickies, you guys, now, I can't even believe I'm talking about that. I don't know what this Tekashi boy, Tekashi 6ix9ine, I don't know nothing about him. I don't know his music. All I know is what is he? Is he white? He is whatever the fuck he is, who claims that he's a blood. He got rainbow and then real unfortunate, tragic tattoos all over his face. This nigga had y'all motherfuckers in Chicago so goddamn stressed the other day. So Tekashi got on down there, and he was on O Block, okay, supposedly, and I don't know where this is, but I'm assuming this is deep up in the middle of you know, the south side of Chicago. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? I will say that O Block must be where, you know, some of the hard-hitting homies hang out. So he was over there, you know, and he was You know, his thing that he does is he likes to go to different neighborhoods that people say that he can't go to. And, you know, he was just like, I'm over here on O Block. You know, I'm over here where everybody at. You know, I'm out here. It's 10 p.m. Ain't nobody around. Can't nobody. And everybody say I couldn't come over here, but I'm over here. Okay. It's O Block. I'm on O Block. You know, I should call it No Block. All right, he going on and on, egging it on. Okay. Ain't nothing around, nigga. It's dark, quiet. Ain't a car going down the street or nothing. Right? And he posted it on Instagram. Child, you tell you. DeAndre, he was at the house and that nigga was scrolling through his phone. And he was like, what? I know this nigga ain't. Nigga, I know this nigga ain't on Instagram with this shit. This nigga say he on O Block. Tron, get my keys, nigga. You motherfuckers jumped in that car with the quickness and got down there on O Block. Alright. And there was no Tekashi 6ix9ine. That nigga got out the car. He was like, this motherfucker ain't even out here. This nigga ain't out here. Where he at? You hear all of them in the background like, where he at? Where he at? And then he was like, and the damn ground ain't even wet. Y'all, I know that's my LA nigga accent. That's the only nigga accent that I know. This nigga lying. Nigga, come on back to O Block. Nigga, come on back. That motherfucker was ghost. It turns out he wasn't even out there because like DeAndre said, the fucking ground was dry. And when Tekashi was out there, it was orange cones and it was wet and all this. I said, that motherfucker was out there at 3:45 in the morning. You know, where everybody at? Nigga whispering and everything. Where everybody at? Okay, this O Block. I should call it No Block. Them motherfuckers was mad. I said, they are gonna kill him when they get a hold of him. He must have a fucking death wish. It almost got to the point where it's almost like a sport. Like, I would never wish death on nobody. But I'm telling you, I'm waiting for the day when they catch up with his ass. Okay? Because he done pissed off a whole bunch of the OGs all over the country. And for whatever reason, he seems to always make it through. But they gonna catch his ass one day. And it's not gonna be one of these grown old men. It's gonna be some stupid young one who just has their finger on the trigger and ready to get to him. But he is not gonna make it a lot longer. And like I said, I ain't trying to wish death on nobody, but he seemed to be wishing it on himself. So, okay. Where that nigga at? Where that nigga at? The ground ain't even wet. That nigga is like Houdini. Shit, now you see him, now you don't. In white folks news, we see that Ariana Grande has gotten engaged to this Pete Davidson boy. I don't know who he is. Should we know who he is? He's a producer, singer, artist, something, actor, something. They say that they just been together a few weeks. She had just broke up with, what was it? Child, I got to get up on my white folk news. Was it Mac Miller or that other one? Anyway, she had just broke up with that one, and now she just got with this one. And a few weeks later, he done went and shelled out $100,000 and bought her an engagement ring. I said, what the fuck Ariana got going on down in that pocket, child? That shit is shooting out fucking gold the way these niggas come running after her. And of course, all her friends and family is concerned and worried. I was like, y'all ain't got to worry about it because they ain't going to be together much longer. Give him back his little $100,000 ring and let that be that. You guys know that K. Michelle had the surgery to have all of her implants or whatever it was that was in her butt. You know, she was rejecting it. Her body was rejecting it, so she got it all fully taken out and posted a picture of herself yesterday in a Fashion Nova Fashion Nova I call him a unitard because that's the dancer in me, y'all, but I can't even remember what I'm trying to call it. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's all one whole thing. And you just get to see how small she is. And when I tell you, I told you guys a long time ago when I did that thing with VH1 and her, she is tiny. And the only thing that was huge was her ass, but her whole rest of her body was very small. Okay, I felt like a fucking giant next to her. I had to take off my shoes. I couldn't wear my heels that whole time, all of that. Okay, and still they had her up on a block. She had to be up on the block just so that we could be in the same fucking frame, you know, without us looking like, you know, here I am, this big ass man woman with her little girlfriend. So, but I told you guys then that she's tiny, and now that her ass is gone, she is small. She looks good to me, and I'm glad that she's finally, you know, finished with that chapter, and now comes to this point where I'm sure she's probably going to need to be able to come to terms with her new body and accept her new body. I know that she keeps posting that she's glad that it's done, but I would think that somebody who was so attached to that ass and the things that she got from that, I think that it would probably take some time to get her mental to line up with the physical and get it all together. But I hope that it happens for her, because y'all, I like K Michelle. She is one that I gotta love from afar, because she can be a lot sometimes, but I still do like her, and I still would like to see her be healthy and be able to have more kids like she wants to and all of that. So good for her. But she is small, very, very small. Y'all tell me what your girl B and Jay, what they going through, y'all. These pictures, the pictures is fine, whatever, but I just was like, well, I wonder what made them do that. Like, this whole picture of Beyonce's ass, like, looks great. Okay, Beyonce looks great, but I was just like, I wonder what made them decide to do something like that. It was just, I'm gonna need the hive to just, y'all put me up on game and explain to me, is she just in a different, part of her life where she just feels like, fuck, I want to show my ass. I'm gonna need Jay to get in that gym, though. I'm gonna need Jay to get in the gym. I'm gonna need Jay to cut that fucking hair. I know he don't cut his hair when he's working on the album, they say, or something like that, but he look a fucking mess, child. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. But, yeah, I just, explain to me the pictures, y'all. And speaking of B, child, Tiffany Haddish then finally came out and said that it was Sanaa Lathan. I told you guys that I thought that I could see it being Sanaa Lathan, because it was too much talk about her. I figured that she had then ran her mouth to her friends so much, and somebody had leaked that it was Sanaa Lathan, because her name was so random. Who comes up with Sanaa Lathan? Out of all of the people that you would think of and that you've heard about doing shit, that's crazy, who would think that it would just be randomly, oh, Sanaa Lathan is the one that did it. So I was just always kind of feeling like maybe it was, and now Tiffany Haddish has come out and said that her family was upset for putting her name out there like that. All right, so people are all up in arms that IHOP has changed their name to IHOB. Kind of stupid to me. I don't know who would come up with something like that. It was a PR move, but a lot of people are talking about it. All right, everybody's all like, IHOB, what does that mean? Okay, well, it's the International House of Burgers. All right, because you always wanted to go to IHOP to get a burger. They say that they got 11 new burgers on their menu, and they supposed to be all of this and all of that, and so they changed their name. It's temporary. They are not changing their name, I'm sure, on the New York Stock Exchange from IHOP to IHOB. It would be stupid. They are iconic and known for having breakfast food. For some of them to try to jump over and all of a sudden become, Fuddruckers or whatever the fuck the name of the damn hamburger spot is. No, I definitely have no wish to go to IHOP and taste their burgers. But if you guys go, y'all go on and let me know what it tastes like. Did you guys see Mano crash in Lil Kim's dedication? I think the city of was the city of Brooklyn. Child, don't let me get these cities wrong. My New York rock stars, they don't play. Y'all trying to turn my damn brain, not my heart. Okay, I know y'all love y'all cities. Whatever is the city that Lil Kim is from, I think they was giving her the keys to the city or whatever. And right when they was about to turn, the mic over to her, here come Mano come running up and crashing it. And all of a sudden, him wanting to say some old speech about Lil Kim. She was sitting back there looking so fucking annoyed. All right, but not wanting to create a scene. But I was just like, look, Mano is crazy to me. I told you guys a long time ago, I watched some documentary that this white guy was doing and was following Mano around, and he would just fucking flip out on the white guy. I mean, he would be choking him and yelling at him like the guy would say something, and if it made Mano mad, like he would attack him. But this is the documentary maker. Okay, I cannot remember what that was, but did anybody else ever see that? I was like, this white man gonna have to get him some fucking security. Who the fuck gonna be walking around with this crazy ass nigga choking him out in 15 minutes? And ever since then, I was like, no, that nigga crazy. And so anytime I see Mano, I be like, Okay, there was a rumor going around right when Lala broke up with Carmelo, or right around that time, that she was fooling around with Mano. You know, remember it was a story about them sneaking in the movie theater and all of that shit. I was like, please, I hope not. Lala and Mano, that nigga is a fucking lunatic. And then I started to hear about him and Lil Kim fooling around, messing around back in the, you know, not too long ago. You see the pictures of her taking the pictures, and she got the big old plaque that they give her. And he trying to put his arm on her shoulder and all that, and she keep on moving his head and all that. It is so funny. It is so funny because it's like nobody is seeming to notice that she don't want that nigga there. But she knew he was crazy enough that she couldn't be like, get rid of him. Security did walk around her to make sure he wasn't gonna try nothing. But I guess she must have told him to stand down. Let us take this picture so this fool can go on about his business. But y'all, that Mano. And lastly, you guys, today would have been the 58th anniversary for my mama and daddy. Okay, they got married back in 1960. My mom died when they had been married 46 years. And yeah, today would have been that 58th wedding anniversary. I bet you my dad don't even remember. I always have to call him and be like, today's your anniversary. He'd be like, you know what, you right. Okay. He probably does remember. My dad probably is one of those ones that tries not to bring too much attention to himself and all of that. But yeah, just happy anniversary to my mama and my daddy. Y'all know I miss my mom immensely. This year's been especially so. But don't you worry, Mom. Taking care of Dad down here. Dad is doing just well. And my kids are actually down there visiting them now. But that's it, you guys. Happy 58th anniversary to my mom and my daddy. Alright, rock stars, let me get off of here. We do this every single week. So make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.